Good morning. Had to get out of the sun. I was blinded. Didn't know that I was live yet. All right. Good morning. This is Mona, and this is my morning view. Today, spring edition 2026. It is 32 degrees, by the way. My deck has some icy spots, so I have to be careful walking on it. It's already starting to melt in the sunshine, though, so that's cool. Yeah. And today, it is Tips Tuesday. Tips Tuesday. So, yesterday, I was talking about something about algorithm, and I just figured, let's just bring it on back today for the same conversation, and leaving you with the tip that I left you yesterday, but reinforcing the tip. All right, so I started on my 3-minute video over on YouTube. This video is the longer version. You get to watch it on Facebook first. Then it gets uploaded tonight or tomorrow. And when it gets uploaded over to YouTube, you can watch it on fast speed on YouTube, which you can't watch it on fast speed here. So I encourage you to go over to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison. You'll see my white hair. You'll see my beautiful face. You will know you are in the right spot. And subscribe right there. So, yeah, I had on this 3-minute video, which is just a introduction to this longer video to invite them to come back later on when it gets uploaded, especially if they find the content. I wonder what she has to say, Okay, and that's whether they agree or don't agree. It grabs their attention to what is it that I'm going to be talking about. All right. Which brings me to this. I always request that people put comments, whether they agree or disagree. And sometimes I have found it's not so much a disagreement, but they're really adding to the video. They're really adding to it because their comment is not something I disagree with. Their comment is spot on sometimes, right? So if it's spot on, I'll just put a little heart there. It's like, yeah, you're right. I didn't say everything, because if I said everything, the video would be way too long. So I just grab highlights of things. And so when you make your comment, it just adds to the video. And if it disagrees, you may bring up a point that I didn't think about. So there's that. Or maybe you agree and you brought up a thought that I didn't think about. Either way. Because there are points that people make, and I totally agree with it. I just didn't mention it. All right. So I encourage you. Go ahead and make comments. And by the way, if you don't like what I'm saying, and if you're totally in disagreement, well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to change my thoughts on certain solid subjects. All right. So, so there's this thing where if you make a comment, it helps the algorithm. So no matter whether you agree or disagree, it helps the algorithm. And if you comment, then my video is seen more, right? So what I was alluding to yesterday, and my tip for today, is if you don't want this content to be seen by other people, slide on by. Watch in silence. Because the minute you make a comment of any kind, it helps the algorithm and more people see. That's why I encourage people, whether agree or not, go ahead and comment. So I have found a lot of times what happens is, and I've done it myself, my introduction to social media was not pretty. It was in the midst of being sick and no stopper in my brain. Remember I talked about how I had some issues with the brain, and so, your brain is 80% stopping, 20% go, scientifically. And so what happened is my brain was malfunctioning, and I couldn't control my hand movements. I couldn't control anything. It was like out of nowhere, woo, without the woo part. I suffered in silence, and people would look at me and go, "You all right?" I'm fine. I wasn't fine. However, the point is that I couldn't control certain things. And so what was happening was I was unable to control the thoughts in my head coming out of my mouth, or in this case, the keyboard. So, and I wasn't thinking clearly either. Was not thinking clearly. So there are some things that I said that isn't necessarily things that I believe. I believed them at the time in my confusion. But there was some conversations that I knew I was right. And I had to defend that right. I had to defend my right to be right. And I'm going to prove it to you. Except for I'm on a page that isn't mine, talking with a friend who has multiple like-minded friends, because that's, if you look through, you're going to have more like-minded friends than non-like-minded friends. Needless to say, she got off my bus. And I don't blame her. There was boundaries there. But I was right. And I must defend my right to be right. No, we don't. We don't have to do that, especially when it's on somebody else's page. Now, if it's on something like YouTube, right? Most people are out there for professional purposes. They're not out there like Facebook is a personal social media. It's personal. YouTube is more geared to those people that are trying to get a message out. They're trying to get a message out. And whether they get paid or not paid, it doesn't matter. They have a message and they want to get it out. Instagram is kind of a mix of the two. They do it on Facebook, but I don't think Facebook is that space for that much. Maybe a little, maybe starters, but not for serious-minded. You can throw some ads there and stuff, but for the most part, Facebook is for personal content. And so, not that this isn't personal. This is highly personal. What I talk about. We're talking about health, wealth, and relationships. We're talking about things that are happening today in today's world. We're talking about things that have happened in the past, right? And how it affects us today, and how it affects me today. So it is highly personal. However, it's not for personal purposes. And so the point is to get a message out. And if there is a message that somebody is trying to get out, you have every right to counter that message. Oh, ouch. Am I stepping on toes here? You have every right to counter that message. If it's just their personal page, their personal beliefs, that's their personal space. But when they're out to try to send out a message, trying to convert or bring people to their belief system, to their understanding of something, they're trying to I don't have the art of persuasion. I just say what I say, and it's the REAL, not the REEL. And a lot of us gravitate to the pretty people, the pretty scenes, the pretty clothes, the pretty speech. We gravitate to that, and I understand that. But the real isn't always in the pretty. Sometimes it's in the messy. A lot of times, it's in the messy. Most of the time, it's in the messy. And so, when we come down to making comments in people's social media, where is it they're coming from? Where is it they're coming from? Are they coming from a getting the message out, selling a product, trying to convince in a corporate fashion, not in a personal fashion? What is it that they're trying to say? And then, if you feel the need to be right, mind you, it will help their message to get out. It will bring people to that place of, oh, I wouldn't have seen this before, but because so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and there's 50 people sat there and said, this guy is nuts, crazy, Looney Tunes, that he doesn't know what he's talking about, that he's false, that he's... Now I get to see it. Now I get to see what he has to say. You've helped him expand. You've helped him expand. Or her. So, like I said, I encourage you to do that here on Mona E. Harrison, even on Facebook. If you disagree, put it in the comments. You might find out that we don't totally disagree. A lot of the people that have disagreed with me, they have said things that's like, oh, you're right, I just didn't mention it because I don't have all day. These are long enough. And the thought is that I'm only talking about stuff that I'm thinking about this morning. I'm not talking about the whole theological, content of life and this earth. I'm talking about this thought that I had this morning. That's it. That's all it is. I'm out here with the dog who's waiting for me to kick off her toy. She's starting to not limp as badly, so trying to get her a little bit of exercise because she's just been laying around, and that's not healthy for her either. And since there's nothing broken, any of that stuff going on, she's had some rest. And, yeah. So she's right there. Waiting for that toy. You ready? You ready? You're going to steal it. You're not going to let me... Okay. Sometimes she won't let me have it. Sometimes she's like, nope, I think I'll just take it down here. And that's okay. All right, so that's it. We're just out here with the dog, thinking a thought this morning that I didn't think about most of the time. Now, today, I thought about this yesterday, so I kind of knew I was going to talk about it today. And I remembered, and because I remembered, I talked about it. A lot of times, I'll think of a thought yesterday, going, I'm going to talk about this. And then I wake up and I don't remember anything. Or maybe I'll wake up and I'll remember it. But then, 5 minutes before I decide to take the dog out and do my video, I don't remember it. It happens. Most of the time, I don't know what I'm talking about until I hit the... Gotta get rid of the spam. Get rid of the spam. Oh, you would think if I don't contact them, if I don't answer, if I just do nothing, that they would stop calling. But I think most of it's not even human beings anyway. I mean, a lot of it is because I can hear them stammering over the written speech that is always the same. But anyways, when they leave a message on my voicemail. So the point is that, when you comment, sometimes you add to the video. Sometimes you add clarity. Sometimes you add content that I just didn't have time to talk about. Sometimes you add content that I wasn't thinking about, but I totally agree with that content. And there are other times that, you don't agree, and that's okay. I have several people that don't agree with me because I have a very diverse friendship. Very diverse. And so I love the people. I don't have to agree with them. They don't have to agree with me. I don't kick people off of my bus. Now, sometimes I may have boundaries. I definitely have boundaries on Facebook. I have boundaries where there's people that can't get on my bus. You are not allowed. Period. Not allowed on my Facebook. People I don't know, especially men. I don't care that you have a yacht in the Riviera. I don't care. I don't care that you have master's degrees, doctorates, millions of dollars. I don't care. I don't know you. And chances are you're none of that. So I have boundaries. But I don't kick people off of my bus. People sometimes get off the bus at their stop. And that's okay. They get off the bus. No hard feelings. They move on. They got another destination to go. And there are some people that get fed up with the bus ride. So I'm getting off now. I'll walk to my spot. I'll catch another bus. I'll do something, but I ain't riding this bus no more. And they get off my bus, and that's fine. Because if they stay on their bus and they're disgruntled, what do they do with the rest of the passengers? You have people that are like professional hecklers. They can't stand anything you say, and so they're going to say something. And it's like, well, why are they there? Why do they waste their time? Right? There's certain people that they think are complete heretics, so they've got to make sure that nobody hears their heresy just because they don't believe the same way they believe. And so they make it a point to cause frustration for that person. However, all it does is help the algorithm. If that person is sure in themselves, is confident in what their message is, because this is the thing, is when I used to make those little, I'm going to stand to be right because I'm right, when somebody countered me, I'm like, somebody countered me, but I'm right. Why are they countering me? And they made me feel ashamed. I wasn't ashamed of what I said. I just felt ashamed. I was not confident in who I was and who I believed at that moment, because I was not well, because I did not have clarity. I did not have focus. I did not have a sound mind, if you will, at the time. There was too much foggy brain involved. And so, because of that, it would cause me to feel anxious. Anxious. That's more the word that it was making me feel. Anxious. And so, in that anxiousness, that caused more stress, which caused more cortisol, which caused more illness. It was a vicious cycle. But if you are confident and you are sure in what you are messaging out, and you know it to be true, in your heart of hearts, you know it's true, then no heckler's going to stop you. It's just going to help the algorithm. I'm thinking if there's a heckler bothering me, they must be a low-level heckler. Low-level troll. Because I'm not that big. Why would people want to waste their time bugging out on me when there's bigger fish to fry? Right? Because they don't have any of the fancy tools. They have to go dig up some worms, throw it on a hook, on a stick, and fish the old-fashioned way to try to stir up stuff. But the only thing it stirs up is more views. Yes, more views for me. All right, so my advice are to those who love God. My advice is to those who have a relationship with Jesus. If you find content that you don't like, if you find content that you don't want anybody else to see, if you find content that is like, I wish this person would go away. If you find content that totally rubs you spiritually, especially, but even religiously wrong, what is the best way to handle that? Bye, Felicia. Just walk on by. Leave the room. If you feel you need to stay in the room, if you need to be on the bus, oh, my angel has lost his head. That's what I get for not getting all my stuff in before winter. Oh, my little garden angel. He's about a foot. Just a resin thing. But still, got him at the pharmacy. Lost his head. I got a lot of cleanup between my broken pots. See, that's what happens when you break your leg in November, the beginning of November. You just don't get it all put away. Oh, that was a squirrel moment. Sorry about that. All right. So, the point is, if you decide to stay on somebody's bus because you want to keep abreast of the situation, that's one thing. But to make comments on it would just help their algorithm. So my suggestion is, don't make comments on stuff you don't want other people to see. You can pray for that person. Pray that they have an encounter. Because usually an encounter is the only thing that's ever going to happen for them to change their mind. When you encounter Jesus, something changes. When I show up, nothing changes. When Jesus shows up, things change. Things can get uglier because those around you want to crucify. Right? Or things can get better because there's transformation. So it happened to the criminals on the cross. You had one that got really ugly. Okay, Jesus, you're so high and mighty. Why don't you get yourself down off the cross and us too? He got nasty. Doesn't say everything that he said. Just, said he blasphemed. So I think he's more than what he said. And then you had the other one that says, hey, dude, we're getting our just rewards. We were guilty. This man did nothing. But then he did a step further. Not only did he recognize who he was, but then he recognized who Jesus was. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. He recognized him as having a kingdom, and he recognized him as he was the king. So therefore, there was transformation that took place. And what did Jesus do? You'll be with me in paradise today. Today. All right. What do we do today? We see some content we don't like. We don't want others to see it. We don't want to give them extra leverage. We don't want to give them extra power. So we say a prayer and we move on. We say a prayer for the people that will see the video, that they'll see past it, that they'll see the stuff that's wrong about it. But that's it. Of course, if you're watching this video, absolutely comment, even if you disagree. All right. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow for Wonderful Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday, and it's already spring. Craziness. All right.